Arcade Studio Podcast with Stijn Van de Veken.
Nice.
How's it going, buddy?
Nice. Really good. Thank you for having me.
So today we're doing things a little bit different. We've raised the level with the Shandon because our mate Stan has decided that we are too poor and we need to raise the level a little bit. Make it a little bit more classy. But then we decided straight away to lower the level, and we're going to do this chicken nugget thing, which
is awful.
It's awful. Well,
whose idea was it, by the way?
Well, it's actually Stan's because
it's more your idea, right?
I came up with the final concept, but you were the one that was like, let's do something with food.
For me, it's more of a funny concept, but then you turn it into an awful concept.
Yeah,
exactly.
So basically what we've done is, seeing as we're all big fans of hot ones.
You've seen the show?
Yeah, hopefully everybody's seen the show, but we'll definitely put links down below. So what we've done is a little twist on this. Rather than telling people what's happening and raising the level as we go through the chicken wings, we got nuggets, and we've had our assistant, Ben, here dabbing certain ones of these nuggets. The rules are, when you pick it up, the ones that are tabbed will probably leave a mark.
Mm-hmm.
If you see it, you can't change it. You just have to put it in your mouth.
And how many of them have been
an
dabbed?
unknown percentage? It
could be 70%, 80%, like all of them.
It could literally be all of them.
I don't trust Ben. He's like laughing the whole time.
It's like you guys.
I did suggest a number, but I wasn't there when he was doing it.
And what's the deal? So you have to be like, pretend like
try and be as straight faced as possible. It'll be amazing.
Keep on talking.
Yeah. So ideally, when you pick it up, just turn it away from the camera, like the bottom away from the camera, so that we know maybe, but the viewers won't know. And then that's it. I think we should just maybe start with one.
Okay, straight off. Okay.
Yeah.
It's Russian roulette.
It's a Russian roulette. All right.
Chicken roulette.
So we just. I think. Yeah, it looks a little bit suspicious. Safe? Everybody safe?
Safe.
I think definitely not safe, but...
Right. Should we crack the bowl?
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's get going. So, just a little bit of a backstory while you're pouring those drinks. Stan is a creative producer. He's a DJ. He's a gamer. He's a bon viveur. A bit of everything. So, he's a bit of a Renaissance man. That's going to happen all the time. Just give that to me. I'll take that. Okay. Thank you.
There you go. It's starting off really well, this episode.
I think there's no better starting than this.
It's like real. It's real.
Yeah.
I think my first question for you guys would be like, you've been in Italy for quite some time. What is your stance on champagne against Franciacorta or Prosecco?
Apart from the fact that we should be the ones asking the question, but
straight away.
Sorry. I mean,
but I'll take it. I think it depends a lot on the place where you are. So if I'm in Franciacorta, then I'm not going to be drinking champagne, 100%. No, but cheers. I enjoy my champagne. I feel it's a little bit more sophisticated, just generally, like as a flavor.
Where does it stand in terms of like your favorite drinks? Is it top three?
Champagne,
top three
like
material?
bubbly?
Yeah. Not at all? So you're here against your will, actually.
Like I'm actually kind of like a cocktail kind of guy.
Yeah?
I prefer like fruity cocktails and like...
Which one?
I think like just a classic caipirosca, like strawberry caipirosca.
Are you 12?
Yeah. I like sweet stuff.
You like, really?
It took me so many years to get used to beer. And now I prefer the fruity beer as well.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers, guys. Thank
this
you for
has been long
again.
overdue.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
But this is good. Like I get like tired of like really strong flavors, like alcohol in general.
Yeah.
So I like prefer like sweet stuff. But it's changing. It's changing now.
Yeah.
I'm getting more like into salty foods as well. It's like in general, it's just changing. So I prefer like an Amaro maybe.
Yeah. No, I'm the same. I mean, for me, the champagne generally isn't in the top 3 or 4. No.
Really?
No. I'd go probably like a really good red wine. Then I'd go probably also a cocktail of some sort. So like if I have to go to it, it'll be like an old fashioned or something like that. and then beer, and then probably like a bubbly of some sort.
Is it the bubbles that?
Yeah, I think it's the bubbles. For me, it's the bubbles. But it's also the accessibility. Like generally, like it feels sometimes to me a little bit pretentious to to order a bottle of bubbles.
It is.
So sometimes I'll be like, well, it depends on the occasion. Like for me, it's always been a celebration of something. So it'll be like a special occasion.
Yeah.
But like when we hook up and we go for a drink and we just hit the bubbles the whole way through, it's actually going to be a fun night usually because it's a nice buzz as well. So it's just a matter of exposure more than anything else, I'd say.
Where does it stand for you?
For me, it's number one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, by far. I don't know why, but also I think you can kind of, for me, it's similar with like when you ask me acqua frizzante or naturale, I will always say frizzante. I don't know why, but I just like the bubble. So it's not about being fancy. I also like it with just like water for me. Like I need the bubble.
But bubbles are fancy.
Yeah, even with water.
With water.
Oh, it's more expensive than normal.
Normal water is no bubbles.
Yeah, I don't know why, but I also really like a good red wine or a white wine, even a rosé. You love a rosé, right? You're a sweet guy.
No, I prefer now white wine.
Yeah, but like a dry one or a sweet one.
Has to be dry.
Yeah. All right.
And red wine was a favorite of mine. Like it's my drink of choice for relaxation.
Always? Yeah.
And it's like it's one of those drinks I might have a problem with. Like if I have a bottle of red wine, which is good, it's going.
Yeah.
Like even if I'm by myself, so I try to like.
Do you guys need food to go with it with the good wine, or can you drink it like just alone? Because like a good red wine, most of the time it's like you pair it with a good piece of meat or whatever. So, but you can just drink it whenever.
For me, I can just drink it.
Yeah.
For me, it just it just depends on the context. No, everything is about context. So if you're in a space where there's a bottle of red wine and there's no food, I'm going to enjoy that bottle of red wine just as much as if there was food. But then if I get the perfect meat or the perfect company to that thing, like these nuggets, and I've actually got a fucking cool story about fried chicken now, but we'll get back to it. It'll be the thing. It'll just like raise the level. But we were just in South Africa. Well, I was just with my family, and I rediscovered South African red wines, which I knew they were good, always amazing. But for the first time, I actually went into like a wine tour.
Yeah,
because usually we would just, it's a touristy thing, we don't go, but we did, and fuck me, dude, so good. It's literally like you can't go wrong. It's like any bottle that you open, screw top, because they have these screw tops there because they're like, oh, it doesn't matter. It's like, okay, cool, whatever you want, do it, and it always looks terrible, but you open it up and it's like, holy shit, this is a really good bottle of wine,
And where do you guys stand on a cold red wine? I do like it. I do know it's a hipster point of view, like with the natural wine things and all of that, but I really appreciate a cold red wine.
Yeah, but a red wine's supposed to be, it's a room temperature, but not like 40-degree room temperature. No, it's supposed to be like Cavour.
But you know what I mean, right? In
you want it chilled.
Cold, like it's more chilled, it's more natural maybe. Like
I am not racist in terms of like alcohol and stuff. Like I don't have...
you love all the alcohols.
Yeah,
equally,
I mean, if I like it, I'm going to drink it. So I'm not... that traditional either. I mean, like I like Cape Oscars. It's not like a really sophisticated drink, but I mean, I don't mind if it's like a hot day and want some like red grapes in my alcohol. I'm gonna have like no worries about having like a cold or a chilled or like even having ice in it. Yeah. I'm actually like,
but you're
not the right person.
You're an animal about this kind of stuff.
Yeah,
so
I'm like terrible. Really I'm terrible
because I can imagine like it depends on the level of the wine. If you're like drinking like an amazing bottle of Amarone, you don't want to put ice in that thing. I mean,
100% true, but I also think it's something that you learn as you go by, because in the beginning you have like a shitty red wine from the supermarket when you're young, for example, and you can then you can be like, oh, there's a big difference between this wine of €1 or €2 even, like, but that's when you're young, right? And then after a while you get to appreciate this is actually really good bottle of wine, right? But yeah. I don't know. I'm like you. I love all of them equally. but I do have a preference in terms of if
So
you
it's
have
not
to
all
choose.
equal.
Yeah, maybe not. But
A cold white.
Cold wine, yeah, I had to like choose. Like because we went really sophisticated with it. I've never had so many like questions based on like directed at how I drink or what I drink. It's very interesting. I had to think about it for a second.
I don't know why, but I think when you get to know people, one of my go-to things is always ask questions about food and drinks, because I think, I don't know, it kind of gives me a sense of who you are as a person, and not in terms of like, can you get drunk? Because obviously everyone can get drunk, but also in terms of like, what do you like? And in a way, it's, and I think you can understand, it's like, it's a personal question, and it isn't.
Yeah.
So it's not like, so are you married? Do you have kids? What was your darkest moment in life? So it's not that kind of thing.
Alcohol is always connected to those stories,
true.
by the way.
That's very true. But
all three of them. Yeah.
you know what I mean? It's a very personal question that gets you back to who you are as a person and your preferences, but it's not like a super personal question. So you get a sense of someone without, because there's always a story attached to food. There's always a story attached to drinks, for example. So that's why my go-to question, for example, is let's say tomorrow you die, right? I always ask people, what will be your last meal? And it can be everything. So it can be, for example, that one pasta I had in Napoli, but it can also be like, my mom makes a really crazy dish with potatoes and meat. And it's a really easy question to ask people, and they tend to engage with it immediately, but you get to know people through it, because like, so you like spaghetti, or you don't eat meat, or he says something about his family, so he must be a family guy. So
and you break through some barriers straight away. With that kind of stuff. But are you a storyteller?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, because our interaction is often you prying, like trying to get to my essence in some sort of way, like lots of questions, like,
that's 100% true,
because that's the way that like our relationship has always been. Like we've known each other like a year or so, like more or less, and it's really interesting because it gets me thinking a lot, right? But you rarely break into your things, because it's hard to like go, and so what's your last dinner, sort of thing. So is it, do you think it's ever like a defense mechanism, asking like a lot of questions?
To be honest, I don't think so, because I love to chat with different kinds of people. I do think it's for me, it's more of a conversational thing, like to get, and also I don't want to be that guy who's like, hey, nice to meet you. And by the way, what do you think of the weather? Or what do you do as for a living? Or because those are the kind of questions that everyone asks. Right?
Yeah, and you get bored.
For me, it's really, I tend to go back to the things that I love, that I like, and that I also know. So I'm really interested in it. It's not because I have this theory behind it, like, I'm gonna ask this to Andy, so he'll have to answer no or whatever. No, for me, it's really about, I love to talk about food or drinks or sports, whatever. So I tend to ask a lot of questions about it. You can get the conversation
going straight into something that you're feeling comfortable in, and break. No, because it's really interesting. Like if you look at it from outside, it's like, okay, cool. So I'm in a place where I know nobody, so I'm vulnerable. So what I do is I go to somebody, and it's like I bring them straight away into my space where like you'll never hurt anybody's feelings asking them about their food.
I think 100% true. And also for me, it feels like it's a safe ground to start chatting to people. But again, coming back to, but it's still very personable to, it's very personal, like to what you like or what you like. It's never going to be the same. We're not, if we ask ourselves like, what's your favorite drink or what's your favorite meal? The three of us are going to have a totally different answer to it. And that right away gives you space to talk about this or that. And it always, again, connects to memories or family or friends and situations that it's always like, because you know why I love this? Because this one time in band camp, you know what I mean? So, it's always like, certainly with drinks. I mean, everyone has this story about like, I love champagne, but I can never drink whiskey. And you know why? Because this one time when I was 17, we drank like 3 bottles of it, doing snowboarding things. And so it's always connected to something. So.
Yeah. And also it'll tell you how they travel, because it'll be a story maybe of how they grew up, where they grew up. So maybe you'll meet somebody that you expect is a certain thing, and then they'll tell you about a story of their childhood, and they were like brought up in Ghana or whatever, and they'll be like, oh, my favorite food was like this maize thing that they did in this little town where I grew up. And so all of a sudden you got like an open conversation to like so much stuff, you know?
And people feel like they feel interesting also. They feel, if you ask a question, that's a question that is immediately out of it's out of the box. It's like, okay, you're not asking me how the weather is, you're asking me something which is,
but without being crazy out of the box. It's not like I'm asking your sexual preference, or you know what I mean. So you're asking something again that's really personal to you, but it's easy to talk about, and in a way, without, again, I don't have a theory behind it in terms of like, so I'm gonna ask this, so this guy's gonna be my best friends all of a sudden, but it's just, again, my interest. So it's a really easy playground in terms of like, hey, we're talking about this now, and suddenly we become friends in an easy way. And
no.
But what's your first? What did you have like a?
I think he has one that isn't that like a normal
it's
one.
It's fine. It's 100% fine. It's good. Give me some of that.
Yeah.
But what's your first memory connected to food?
That
at this point,
that's a maybe you should do it yourself.
I'll do this.
That's a really good question, because I have a really bad memory. So for me, it's actually like connected to my childhood. I don't have big memories about food or drinks or whatever. I think.
Is it because you didn't have any food or drinks?
No food and no drinks.
We were really poor. So no, I think for me, it's always been family situations with food. So I think my earliest memories have always been like family style dinners. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, and that's for me, even though I'm, to be honest, not a big family guy, food for me is really family, friends gathering around a table. And for example, I have friends who say things like, oh, going out to a restaurant, I don't like it. I don't like to spend my money there, which is perfectly sensible for them, right? But for me, it's like the opposite. I actually like it, because for me, it's a moment as a family when you're young, older, whatever, or as friends, where you come together and you talk about stuff, and at the same time you eat food. And then I think it's a perfect gateway drug, I want to say. Into,
of course it is.
But in terms of your question, earliest memory of food was just at home eating very Flemish. I'm from Belgium, very Belgian food. I don't know if I would ask you guys, if you think of Belgium, what do you think is a very typical Belgian food? Or
waffles and chips,
Coffret.
You would say waffles,
and
you would say French fries.
But just because there's a really good like Belgian restaurant near my house, and we go there pretty often, and they just have the best.
Really, here in Milan,
best chips. Yeah, it's
what is it called?
Le Vent du Nord.
Yeah,
which is in Via Tertulliano, I think.
And what do they serve?
They do, what I normally get is bocconcini di manzo. It's like
like I don't know,
spezzatino, like
I know
stew
what you mean.
kind of thing.
Like
and it's really, really good. And my girl gets the mussels.
Yeah, that's also
that's
really
right.
Belgian.
Oysters, maybe, no?
Oysters, not really. Mussels is, in a way, because I don't think it's super Belgian mussels, but we tend to eat it a lot. But I think the stew situation is definitely Belgian.
It was
like
so
small
good.
pieces of really soft meat in a stew and with fries. French fries is 100%. You said waffles. I do know it's a big thing, saying like waffles from Brussels and all that stuff.
Belgian waffles.
But if you're from Belgium, it's actually not that of a big thing. It is a thing, but it isn't.
I think that's what you've exported the most from Belgium.
And chocolate.
Chocolate,
right? Chocolate,
waffles, and chips.
Waffles. Yeah.
Yeah. Because if you go to like, even in South Africa, even where we grew up, which is a small little town in the middle of South Africa,
Did you get the?
Yeah, I did.
Oh, so you got it. You have to like declare it, man.
No. I was trying
First
not to declare
done.
it. I think it's the second, actually.
Thank you, Ben.
I know, it was good.
Well played, by the way. I would have been like dead.
I think all of them are dapped into.
And but the place was Belgian Waffle House, the one in Margate or Southbury, whatever it was.
Oh, okay, yeah.
There was one,
Yeah.
and so that was the Belgian place.
Yeah, I think what's really Belgian, and that might sound awful, is if you have the big Belgian waffles, so not the sweet kind, right? So you have the kind of salty big Brussels, and we also put stew on it, for example.
Which it's bread, isn't it? At the end of the day,
it's a kind of a play on the chicken and waffles from the US, for example. But then it's not really fried chicken. It's really putting a stew like a vol au vent. I don't know if you guys know a vol au vent, which is basically white chicken meat with mushrooms and a sort of white creamy sauce. That's really Belgian too. But it's a stew. Like you have like the meat stew is more like a gamey, like what you said, like a bocconcino from more like beef or whatever. But it's also like a white stew. It's really good. You guys have to try it.
I love food, so I would be happy with anything.
This is where it starts getting a little bit more interesting for me because, like you said, chicken and waffles. I have never had that, but it's always been something you see in movies. You see in like stand-up comedians that are from the South, like from Louisiana and that kind of stuff. It's always been like something I see so often, and I was like, I got to try that, like syrup on your chicken. Like I managed to try that, like, and that just changed my whole.
Like the sweet things on chicken.
Like the maple syrup on chicken and on wet eggs. And oh my God, that's
But if you think about it, pancakes are just like eggs, basically. Eggs with flour. You know, you just drench them in
I think American people are just the best at like doing not only fast food, but also mixing sweet and salty stuff like the chicken and waffles and putting maple syrup on top of it, for example, or deep frying Oreos or deep frying Snickers or Mars bar or whatever, right? So they're really good at mixing the two of them. So, but also for me, same thing. I also never tried it, and I've been to the US a couple of times, but I've never tried it actually because I always go to the standard burgers and fries and all of that stuff. But yeah, I should. I think
it has to be done. Now, going back to fried chicken and champagne
and nuggets.
I was listening to.
I'm gonna try it.
Christ. I was listening to.
I'm dying now.
Conan Needs a Friend. You know, Conan Needs a Friend, Conan O'Brien,
the comedian host,
late night host.
Big show. Yeah.
He's done a podcast now called Conan Needs a Friend, and he interviewed Dave Grohl from the Foo Fighters. And apparently
Nirvana.
Of course. Let's not.
Let's not forget about Nirvana. Yeah.
Exactly. But what he had in his rider as the Foo Fighters after like one night bender was Kentucky Fried Chicken and champagne.
Really?
Because he decided that was the best thing ever. And like everywhere he would go, he would always have in his like change room, in the green room, champagne and fried chicken.
And do you mean KFC chicken?
KFC. No, he was KFC full on. Yeah, absolutely. No, because I reckon, and that's another thing we can go on to is fast food is hardly ever like, it's never like I want fried chicken. It's I want KFC or McDonald's or whatever it is that you're going to have because the taste is not a hamburger. It's McDonald's and it's not fried chicken. It's KFC.
100%. But I do believe strongly in terms of fast food because I'm a big burger guy, right? But I also believe that fried chicken is a whole other ball game. Like fried chicken. It's like it's been a big thing in the US. I don't know if you follow the story between like what is actually the best chicken sandwich in the US. It was between Popeyes and KFC and all of those guys. But it's a different ballgame to a normal burger for me. So you have your burgers, which is normal beef or whatever you put into it, right? And fried chicken, that's a different kind of style of fast food that I don't think I've tried enough because my experience in that game is your KFC, or let's be honest, you can't say that Mickey D's chicken nuggets or that's not fried chicken.
It's not the same thing.
It is fried chicken, but it isn't at all.
Right.
Like so.
But then you can also go to like a proper soul food, fried chicken, deep south.
100%. That's for me.
That's a different level.
Your fried chicken, and then you have a side of greens.
Yeah.
You have a side of mac and cheese, and that's your proper fried. You have to, and it has to be made by like a family style diner.
Absolutely.
In the Southwest
like
or
part of
whatever.
The experience.
Yeah, 100%. Like that. Yeah, that's on my.
It was pretty hard. I think you dabbed it just a little bit too much.
No, it doesn't look too dabbed that one. It actually looks all right.
I felt like Christopher Walken in reindeer game. When he knows that like, okay, now I've got like the bullets in my gun.
Yeah.
And like now I'm going to just fucking kill everyone. I saw like the light hit the gleam of the fucking hot sauce. And I was like, okay, well, fuck it. Bite the bullets.
Now. It's done now. So let's go into our list. What's your top 5?
Should we start at number 5?
Top 5 fast food places.
Top 5 fast food places.
But globally, right?
Globally.
For me, my number 5 would be, and this is like fucking cliche, for me it's Mickey D's, McDonald's. And the reason why I actually didn't want to put them on the list, but I did put them on number 5 because it's just reliable for me. It's definitely not super good or whatever, but for me, it's always reliable. And wherever you go, Italy, the US, China, probably not China, but Japan or whatever.
China is the same.
It's always going to be that same Mickey D's quality. And that's something I really like because you don't get that in other food chains. So I do like Mickey D's. For me, Mickey D's is number 5.
Yeah, I actually got it also.
I like this. I think like we can start off with like base it on his top 5 and then go into that because I have like so many stories about McDonald's and Mickey D's. Like Mickey D's, the first time I heard it was from guys from New Jersey that came through to Milan to skate, and they would always talk about Mickey D's. I was like, what the hell are you talking about? Like, what is Mickey D's? McDonald's. And they would eat it for that reason. Like they wouldn't be accustomed to the Italian flavor, and they would just be like, I want to taste home, and they went to McDonald's. And they would do that for like the whole week they're here. And I was like, okay, maybe eat a lasagna every now and then. So like, and they were like in Stazione Centrale, there used to be 2.
Yeah.
And we always had like guys who would work there and like give you free food. So from the moment when I think of McDonald's, and I've said this like to my friends as well, it's like, it tastes like memories. Kind of
100%.
like
and I think that's always the most important with food, right? Even though it's fast food, it's like what you attach to it. It's always like that. And what I also like, it's for me, it's just when you talk about fast food, it's a standard. Mickey D's, even if you like it and even if you don't like it, a lot of people I know, they don't like fast food, they don't like McDonald's, but even if they're at some sort of place in the world and they're not sure about the food, even they would turn to McDonald's because they know like if I just get the fries, it's going to be McDonald's fries, you know what I mean? And also why that's a nice thing about it. You have like slang words in almost every language for McDonald's. You have Mickey D's in Australia, say Macca's or whatever. Yeah, so I love it. So in terms of like everyone knows it, everyone knows what it is, and you know what you get. So you have to have it in your top 5.
No, it has to be there for me. Absolutely.
You also have it, right?
I have it. I have it in my top
number?
5. I actually didn't put them in an order because it's I'm a bit more random this way.
You also have
but I have it in there, and it was the second name I wrote down.
So that says something, right?
It says something because it comes to your mind straight away. So it's there, but I wouldn't say it's like the top one. But at the same time, like I've got a lot of obscure ones because maybe if you spent a lot of time in the States, you'll have probably you'll have your In-N-Out and that kind of thing, which I've had once. So I can't really say it'll be my favorite because it was amazing, but I only had it once. So I haven't been able to be like, compare it to like other chains or whatever. So for me, all my fast food places, I think, is all about consistency. It's all of it. Is it like if I go anywhere in the world, what am I going to get? I'm going to get that thing that I was looking for,
So that's why Mickey D's probably.
It could probably be the best. It could be
like pretty high up in terms of consistency.
Exactly.
Sure, right? It's not about quality then, but
and also I enjoy I like that flavor. I don't think it's a hamburger. I think it's Mickey D's, right? That's how I see it, right?
Of course. I mean, look at the beef is like this, like it's tiny. It's all about what you get. Again, it's an easy choice. That's what it is. So but for me, it should be in your top 5.
And also the fast food has to be fast.
Yeah, 100%.
No, it can't be that thing where you go to a joint and it's like you sit outside and you have to wait 20 minutes to get your meal.
It's not a Wagyu burger where you have to wait for 25 minutes to like a guy show cooking it for you or whatever, like with a tick. piece of salad or pat. No, it needs to be like
I order it.
I want it now.
In 10 minutes, I want to be out of
Yeah.
here eating it. So that cut out a lot of places. Or there were like cool like spots where you would like go and order through a wall, you know, or like a taco truck or something like that. But they would take too long because it would be like a little bit more gourmet. So they'd have to flip it a little bit and make it interesting. So all mine are like super quick, go, get your stuff, get out. Yeah.
And I think my number 4 is the first time I got to know made to order. Like, because when you go to Mickey D's, for example, they, you know how it is, right? It's like they make Big Macs and they put it there and they just take it, right? My number 4 is Five Guys, because I think Five Guys for me, I think it's really good.
Been improved,
yeah. Quality wise, they're in Europe now. I mean, they're in Milan, for example. They're even in Belgium. And I think this is the first time that I knew that a burger could be really good, but still
fast food.
Yeah, still fast food. It's not a gourmet burger at all. So that was for me the first time. Oh, Five Guys. So you ask what you want on the patty, single or double, whatever you want on it, and they make it for you on the spot, and it's really good.
Yeah.
It's really good.
Let's break down maybe what the difference is between a fast food hamburger, apart from the speed, and a gourmet hamburger. Because for me, personally, a gourmet hamburger is proper, like really good meat. It's all built up. It's a little bit, you know, the bread is like homemade by the chef, and it'll be steamed, probably not fried or grilled, and it'll have like maybe like a vinaigrette sauce on it or something like that. It won't be the canonical ketchup or ranch dressing or that kind of stuff. It'll have something else on it.
Yeah, like brie or some
yeah,
shit.
exactly. Or the cheese will be a little bit more researched, and the meat will probably be a Wagyu or like an Angus or something like that. And
I gotta say, to be honest, for me, maybe controversially, but for me, a gourmet burger, like you describe it, for me personally, it's not a burger. When I refer to a hamburger, for me, it's always a fast food one.
right.
Because for me, that's where it comes from. That's what it should be. That doesn't mean it has to be shit in quality. Not at all. Because I think Five Guys before, for example, that's a good example. If you compare it to Mickey D's, it's a big difference in quality, right? Between Five Guys and McDonald's. But so it's not about quality. For me, it's gourmet burgers like you describe it. You go to New York, LA, you have these really fancy restaurants, for example, that almost have a Michelin star, and they always have a cheeseburger on the menu because it's here in the US, right? But then you pay like $35 for it. Jeez. And it's like this, so it's really thick, and then the bun is really homemade. It's homemade bun. It's
difficult to eat as well.
Yeah, the meat is like a chuck that is 70% this and 30% that. And I'm not saying it's not good, but for me, that's not what a burger should be. Yeah. For me personally.
Do you think maybe we could break it down as something you can eat with your hands?
Fast food?
Like, no, a hamburger. Like a hamburger, like the whole concept is that you take it in your hands and you eat it.
Yeah, but I also think a really, let's say a gourmet burger of $100, you could also eat with your hands.
But generally they're bigger and they
like
tend to be really difficult to eat.
Have a bite.
Exactly. It's difficult to get that all that flavor in like one bite, because the whole thing is you want to have the cheese and the burger and the tomato and the sauce all in one bite, and the bread. So if you can't do that, then it becomes something else.
But do you guys agree, or are you guys more into the gourmet burger? Because I know you love your meat, right? So maybe for you it's more important that the quality of the meat is like maybe up there. Or
when like for me, the quality of the meat is very rare. Even when I do my barbecues and stuff, I will change the method of cooking to the quality of the meat, right? So if something's like a really, really good cut of meat, I'm probably going to cook it less, you know, and just like not really mess with it too much. But if it's like not a good quality meat or whatever, then you can really go to town with all the marination and all that kind of stuff, and then it becomes something else. So it doesn't really matter to me. It's just how you treat the product at the end of the day. And of course, but at the same time, if you take a really good meat and you do a really good marinade and you do all that kind of stuff, the flavors all layer itself, so it becomes something amazing.
I think for me, maybe a good like analogy, like a good comparison, could be like if you go to Italy, and I've been here now for 2 years, but which is not super long, but a good example is Italian people, they love their food, right? And they're really precious about it. Like if you do a pasta pomodoro, you have to do it like this. Or cacio e pepe, it's like this, right?
Yeah.
And I think for me, it's the same with a burger. Like from the moment you put on brie cheese, from the moment you put on like a lettuce that costs you $25, or from the moment you put on a jus from truffles or whatever, it's not a burger. For me, a burger has not a lot of components. It's like a bun, the meat, maybe some tomato, onion, a pickle, and some kind of sauce, but that's it.
Yeah.
It needs to be simple to be a good burger for me. And it can even be then a gourmet burger, but they tend to do like crazy stuff.
Yeah, of course, because you have to justify the price.
And it's the same with the pasta pomodoro. Pasta pomodoro is the best but it's only pasta, pomodorini, and some other stuff, but you're not gonna add crazy stuff to a pasta pomodoro, because then you're gonna say, oh, maybe I could still like it, but it's not a pasta pomodoro. You know what I mean? So I think that's, for me, that's a good comparison in terms of why I like the fast food burger and not.
And I think like in general, when I think about burgers and fast food in general, it's like I always loved Americana and like American culture, like American imagery. So going to a fast food place was like going to the States kind of thing, right? And even if you lived in a little crappy little town, you went to America when you went to McDonald's, or you went to the south of I don't know, was it Kentucky, when you go to Kentucky Fried Chicken, Kentucky. But so it's always connected to that. So the whole imagery of going to like Five Guys. I went to Five Guys in New Jersey when it wasn't even a franchise yet. It was just. It was like maybe 2 or 3, and it was only in New Jersey. So not even New Yorkers knew about it yet. And then when I saw it here, I was like, oh shit. And it tasted the same, like the same burger. I was like, okay, this is amazing. But it was like the whole imagery, the milkshake, you can't find another milkshake.
That milkshake, the Five Guys milkshake, makes you understand why burger and a milkshake is a thing.
Is that a thing for you guys? Putting, take a fry, of course, but taking a fry and dip it into a milkshake.
No, I wouldn't go that far, but I will definitely drink a milkshake while I eat my hamburger.
For me, not at all. Because for me, always when I have fast food, I need to have like a Coke to have, again, going back to the bubbles probably. Yeah. But I need to have also a burp. Like when you're eating fast food,
the Coke cuts through all the fat, so it probably helps you out.
I never try. Maybe also because I never tried. It's maybe like waffles and chicken and maple syrup. I've never tried that. Because it's again going back to that sweet, salty combination, right? But
it brings out the flavor of the hamburger.
And maybe here's another question: are you like a soda guy? Do you like different kinds of soda? Like, are you a vanilla Coke guy or a cherry Coke or just like classic?
No, I dabbled a bit into the. I'm big on Coke Zero, Coke Light, and Diet Coke, and I know it's not the best Coke, you guys, but still that's my jam. I dabbled a bit into the Coke Light lemon situation they had for a bit. They promoted, and I love that for a bit. But after a while, you get tired of that very artificial flavor. So. For me, it's always the go-to. It's just like with my fast food, I need to have like a Coke Zero, Diet Coke, and that's it.
Not Pepsi.
Yeah, I mean, if a waiter asks me, "Is Pepsi okay?" and I'm like, "Is Monopoly money okay?" Like it's fake money, alright.
So Burger King for you isn't a thing, Burger King, because they only have Pepsi.
I'll tell you, it's not in my top 5 Burger King. The only reason why I think Burger King is good because I don't know how it was here or in South Africa, but the reason why it was big in Europe for me, for example, is because they were the first to grill the meat. In terms of like McDonald's always just like had the griddle and whatever, but they grilled the meat, and that grill flavor was a big thing, and everyone was, whoa, Burger King, and doing the Whopper, it was a big thing. Like,
because it gives you the idea that it's actually a better hamburger.
100%.
But it's not.
100%. Perception is everything in the fast food game. And even though it's a fast food game, it's as fast as a Big Mac. But it was like, oh, when I was 16, like, and it was the first Burger King in Belgium, we went there and we're like queuing up. I'm not kidding. We queued up for 30 minutes to have our Whopper.
Yeah, but I think it was the same.
Whopper.
Yeah.
And we were like, this is decent food, but you're 16 and what do you know, right?
No, but it's still that perception. If I want the healthier version, you go for a Big Mac, you go for a Burger King.
Yeah.
And the funny thing is that when we first came to Italy in 92 for a holiday, there was neither McDonald's or Burger King. There was a thing called Borghi, which is an Italian brand. And
does it still exist?
It doesn't exist anymore. I think it was actually bought out by McDonald's when they moved in. And that was the worst fucking burger. Like, I mean, it was like the concept was McDonald's, but it wasn't McDonald's. And it was like, my aunt was like, "Oh, you guys are from Africa. Let's take you to have a hamburger." And we're like, we have Steers in South Africa, which is like a really good hamburger, like a fast food, really, really good. And we go to this place and they give us this like tiny little like.
Yeah, I remember that. I was like 8 when I had it. And I remember at 8 years old, I was like, this is small.
But what was so bad about it?
It was small and it was just not enough meat and it wasn't enough flavor and it was just not enough. You know, it was like getting McDonald's hamburger, you know, the €1 one. Yeah. And just like, but smaller and less interesting and like without the pickles or whatever. You know, I just remember disappointment. Like as a 12-year-old, I was just like, what the fuck is this? I'd just rather make it at home. That was really bummed. And then when we moved back here, it was just like, okay, McDonald's and everybody else moved in. But in South Africa, we had a lot of, because meat is a big thing there, we had a lot of really good fast food places. We had Spur, which is like a little bit, they had restaurants. So it was more, maybe like a Wendy's, maybe that
like
you
Old West.
Old Wild West. Like here we have.
Yeah. Like a steakhouse.
A steakhouse, like a fast food steakhouse. So you would actually sit down and have a thing. It wouldn't be a thing where you get takeaway though. And then we had Steers, which was like, it was really good. I haven't had it in ages, so I wouldn't know if it's not on my list. So yeah,
it's not very international as well.
No, it's not. But we were thinking global. So like, I was thinking, I could have put it in because I have good memories of Steers. But it was always about going to Steers with our dad and playing video games.
But that's it, right? Yeah. It's coming back to the memories that you attach to it. Again, like it doesn't necessarily needs to be good or super quality because fast food is never good in terms of quality, right? It's like
it can't be.
Yeah. Is it good enough? I think it's that. Is it good enough for you to like it? And then what do you attach to it in terms of like Mickey D's or Burger
And it's going to be an occasion usually. Like when you're small, it's an occasion. You know, it's like, oh, today we're going to go and get pizza.
I think that's a really good shout because, for example, when we were young in Belgium, like I was brought up in a family that was really strict on sodas and fast food. So which is, I think is a good thing. So for us, it was like a kind of celebration. So whenever we had, and this was when I was really young, this is probably between the age of 5 and 10, right? Whenever someone had a birthday party, I remember like Ronald McDonald. I don't know if you, it was a big thing. So we never ate it, but then when someone had his birthday, you could go to McDonald's and there was this entire birthday party and you had a cheeseburger and some fries. There was a playground. Which is actually crazy if you think about it because it's the other way around in terms of you not having quality food as a kid, but you're longing for it in terms of, wow, this is amazing. And this is amazing.
You're reinforcing that memory. So like as soon as they're 16, 17, 18, when you go off to varsity, if you need comfort, you're going straight back there because that's 100%. Where you felt good and that's where you saw your friends.
100%.
There's also like free Wi-Fi back then.
So they're really smart. I mean, they were really smart. I mean, they are really smart in general.
I even remember that. And to your question that like your earliest food memories, like we had this thing in the house. Whenever you had your birthday, my mom always used to say like, if it's your birthday, you can choose whatever we eat. And even when I was young, I was already big on fast food. I don't know why. And I used to ask my mom, like, can you replicate McDonald's? So what she would do is like, she would buy that kind of like the sesame seed kind of buns and then the frozen meats and the pickles. But also she would have like coffee filters from like a drip coffee, the coffee filters, and then she would do the fries and then put them in the coffee filter. So you have kind of like with Mickey D's, like so. Yeah, even
presentation, man, it's presentation.
Yeah, it's all about that. And I got to invite friends over, and then we could pretend like we were at McDonald's. So and even that, like to pretend that you're at McDonald's is even
that's a sign of how times have changed, and even in the small difference between like how when we were that age and what it is now is like. you couldn't make kids pretend that they're at McDonald's now. You know, it would be like this shit. You know,
is it
like
vegan?
Exactly, and then there will be the vegan kid, and there will be the peanut allergies and all that kind of stuff. It's like we at our age, they were just like, oh, he's dead. It's like, it's fine. Don't worry about it.
But also like even the clownting at Mickey D's, right? It's not even a thing anymore. Right. And no. I used to remember that it was a really big thing, the clown. That was the commercials were.
I reckon they did this thing. They planted the memory in our generation. And then we have that now, so we just keep bringing our kids. So they don't have to do it anymore. It's just really smart. They just save money.
Yeah, but the whole clown thing was also, I think, after it came out, that kind of started getting...
Yeah, it was a bit creepy, that clown.
That was a creepy movie.
You know what the creepy thing is like a lot of these clown, like plastic statues are still around, and they've all like faded, and like you would see like the nose start coming off. And it was always like sitting on the. There's one in Bergamo. There's one in Bergamo. I don't know if they still have it. I'm sure they still have it because it's Bergamo. But they have like a balcony, and it looks like Mussolini on the balcony, like
chilling,
just like looking at it, all weathered from like storms and stuff.
Double trouble.
It's like, whoa, okay, that's the McDonald's.
So what's number 3?
My number 3 is like the.
Before you say it, I think we should all have a nugget.
Oh, what? I just had one.
Oh.
Uh-oh.
Cheers, you guys.
Cheers, Ben.
Cheers, Ben. Thank you for doing nothing.
Number 3.
My number 3 is the if you have In-N-Out on the West Coast, my number 3 is the one from the East Coast, Shake Shack. That's my number 3. For me, it was really difficult between number 2 and number 3, but I've put it on number 3. But because I think it's really good, but in terms of consistency, I did add some bad versions of it in Asian countries, but I think Shake Shack is amazing. I think it's really good. And for me, the winner is the bun, the potato bun, the really soft version. I like everything about it. I think it's well constructed. I think Shake Shack is a winner for sure. I think from the moment it started branching out to Europe and Asia, that's where they got it wrong, because In-N-Out doesn't do that, for example. But
In-N-Out is just West Coast, right?
It's just California, I think.
Yeah, West Coast, and they branched out a bit to like the Midwest a bit, but not like from the West Coast to Midwest. So that's like far enough for them. Yeah, because they're smart about it. They want to stay like this kind of legendary holy grail.
Where people go to them.
And Shake Shack, I mean, they started out in one small shack, of course, in New York, in like I think Central Park, even like really small, and they grew bigger and bigger. And I think what they're doing is really amazing. I think they're probably the first one to start using fresh vegetables in like a single piece of lettuce and then a thick slice of tomato. But still, everyone was like, "Hey, this is really good," even though you put fucking veg in it. But it's really good, so I think it's amazing. Shake Shack,
fucking veg.
Yeah, you know what I mean, right?
They made it like a healthy burger, but still like with that fast food.
And I think they were probably the first in terms of like if you go to a Five Guys, right? It's amazing, but you get it in some sort of a foil, right? And then it's like when you look at it, even though it's great, it doesn't look like anything, right? Five Guys. But Shake Shack was really good at promoting like the burger looks amazing. You have like that piece of really green lettuce.
Yeah, it looks like
that piece of tomato.
The emoji of a hamburger.
Yeah. And then when you taste it, it's also really good. It's not like you taste it, oh, this is shit. No, it's really good.
Yeah, I remember it being like crispy. Like fresh and crispy, like, but Five Guys is a little bit more sloppy.
Because they assemble it like
also, I mean, Shake Shack is also a really simple menu. I think that's the crux of it. That's if you want to be a really good fast food company. I mean, my top 3 is always about really small menu. I think that's really important. Like a simple menu, but you do it really well. You perform it to perfection. And Shake Shack do that really well. Also made to order. So it's not like, oh, there's a double cheeseburger lying around for 2 minutes and you get this one. No, it's so yeah, Shake Shack, I love it. But you guys tried it, right, Shake Shack?
I haven't tried Shake Shack, no, because when I was in New York, I didn't, I don't know why. I actually didn't like have a list of places I wanted to go for some reason. I just, because my wife isn't really a foodie. So I just didn't have I was like, let's just do like stuff that she's into, because I'm into that anyway. So I'll just follow her around, and then we'll find a place to eat wherever we find it. So we went for like tacos and like stuff that we don't really find here in Italy. So we stayed away from the, like, I think we did Joe's Pizza. That was like the most crazy like New York sort of thing. But that was it, under the Brooklyn Bridge.
We went to in New York. We went to catch a movie at like I think it was at Penn Station. Like they have like the two feuding cinemas, like one in front of the other, and they had like a Star Wars night. I think like The Force Awakens had just come out, and so like the one side was the Rebels and the other side was the Empire. And then we just had some extra time, and for some reason we always saw Shake Shack had a line, like it was always a line. And that night there wasn't a line, so we just like went there. And I think they had a vegetarian burger as well.
Yeah, they have a mushroom burger.
Yeah, exactly. And a friend of ours who's a vegan was like, I don't want to eat anything else aside from that. And I was like, okay, they have like a vegan burger. And I think she put us on that, and we were like, awesome. And then we went back, I think a few days later, and it was just like impossible. It was like a line around the block. It was like so crazy.
Yeah, that's one of the things I keep seeing out of Five Guys in Milan as well. It's just like sometimes it just the line is too long, and I don't do lines.
No,
it's
same.
Food.
No.
But that's again the thing about perception, right? When you see a line like that, you're like, I want to have that. Why are these people queuing up for a fucking burger, right? And then you get it, and it's actually really good. So I think that's why Shake Shack for me is really good. And it's really, it's easier to get it. For example, when you go to London, they have like, I think by now they have like 3, 4, 5 Shake Shacks in London. Also really good. And
well, then we're going to hit one in London.
Oh yeah, we're going to go soon. Yeah,
so
you and me.
We're going to London.
So let's do it. Yeah, I think it's really good. I think it's really good. And I think the best thing about a good fast food burger for me, and this is what Shake Shack does very well, is you bite into it, and it's not like it rocks your world in terms of like, whoa, I've never eaten this before. No, it does the thing of, it's just a really good burger. Yeah. And that's all it is. But that's also what it is in terms of like, it's really good.
That's awesome.
It does the same fucking trick as McDonald's, but it does it really fucking well.
It transcends the fast food part.
It's like an upscale burger without having the price of a gourmet or whatever. So that's why Shake Shack, I love it. It's amazing.
And they don't change the mission statement. You know, like McDonald's is like, okay, now we're doing healthy. We're doing like a green logo now. Yeah. And it's like, we're just the same.
And also the thing about, even though sometimes I do like it, but the thing about seasonal burgers, for example, here in Italy, and McDonald's is a good example of, in every country, they have different burgers, McDonald's. In Spain, they would have different burgers than they would have in Italy or in Belgium. It's kind of tied into the culture of the country, right? And Shake Shack, they don't give a fuck. They're just like, we're Shake Shack. So we have this, and that. If you don't like it, you don't like it. And I think that's really a strong point in terms of like doing a good burger. You just stick to what you're good at, and that's it.
And that makes it like you want to go do the experience, because if you can only have the American McDonald's in America, then there's no point in going to the French one. You're just going there because you want the McDonald's. Yeah, right. It's like,
well, you should be going to McDonald's because you want McDonald's.
Yeah, but like if you want the experience of the place, you know, like if you want to go to Shake Shack, if you eat it in London and it's the same as in New York, then you're traveling, right, with the food. Whereas if you have a different thing, like the Joe Bastianich burgers in Italy, you know, it's like I'm never going to order that. I'm sorry. Like I don't want the McDonald's with Parmesan on it. Just doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah. It's like everyone wants that one John Travolta Pulp Fiction story to tell their friends. You know what burgers they have in Italy? They have Joe Bastianich. They put like this weird formaggio.
It's also the thing why, for example, I'm a big YouTube guy. So I love to watch people eating fast food, for example. And one of the things about guys eating fast food around the world is McDonald's, because everywhere they go, it's like, watch me eat the crazy shit at the McDonald's in Tokyo. And then I'll go to Milan and it's completely different, even though you still have the Big Mac, but I'm not going to eat the Big Mac. I'm going to eat the fucking Parmigiano burger, or in Tokyo, you're going to eat the shrimp burger or whatever. So for me, it's like I'll watch those videos. I'm like, whoa, crazy. Even though I don't want to eat it per se, but it's like, whoa, that's actually crazy stuff. I also went to Orlando. I don't know if you guys been. And in Orlando, they have the biggest McDonald's in the world. And it's the one McDonald's in the world where you have a pizza station and a pasta station. So you can order pasta, pizza, everything you want. It's
that must be some sort of abortion.
It's crazy. Certainly for Italians, it's for all Italian people. It's crazy, but it's made to order. It's also table service, which isn't that weird for McDonald's because you have a lot of McDonald's at table service. Yeah. But this is like an upscale McDonald's. You only have that in Orlando and Hong Kong. So you order. You have pasta, pizza, you can change whatever stuff you want, but even also your burger. So even for Mickey D's, that's weird because what their selling point is we're known for the Big Mac.
Right.
We know what you guys want. Double cheeseburger, Big Mac, crispy bacon, whatever. But even the burger, you can change to the tiniest detail. So you can do whatever you want and you get it, I'm not kidding, on a wooden, like you get in the gourmet restaurants, like a sort of a wooden plate, and then the fries are into like a basket, a little basket. They're not into like, So it's crazy stuff. And it's also really big. It's like 2, 3, 4 floors. So it's crazy stuff.
But it's weird like how they decided to like go off brand in that one place. And it's like, because it's near Disney World.
Yeah, of course.
Okay. So that makes sense.
Florida,
Yeah. Because then there was a point I had to make. This is the second time in 2 podcasts that I had to make a point and I forgot it completely.
It's like you're 42 now, right?
Yeah, exactly. 41.
Classic candy, right? Classic candy, yeah.
Christ.
It's coming in.
Yep.
Coming in hot. Speaking of hot.
No, dude, I've just okay, fine.
Did you get another one?
I
like how it's like when you play a violent video game and you see like the blood on the level.
Yeah,
it's like
we need to have a shot of this from the top afterwards.
Oh, cheers.
Cheers, baby. You fuckers. I don't know which one to go for.
3 bullets. 3 bullets.
I know how many there are in here still.
I think coming back to the McDonald's conversation, what they do really well is being global and still localize it. So they're the same fucking thing everywhere, but they're really smart about doing one thing differently that attracts a consumer, and once they're in.
That's what I wanted to go to, the whole thing about changing it from place to place.
And that's really, really good.
No, but because they're super smart about that, because they bring in also the people that aren't really interested in McDonald's, but it'll be, you'll convince the Frenchman or the Italian to come and eat. But I went to the McDonald's in Montmartre. The one just next to Le Pigalle. That was the worst, I think, McDonald's I've ever like the experience. It's like really, really dirty.
Because French people really hate McDonald's, probably. Like they're like, what are you doing here?
Yeah. It was fucking horrible, and it was like dirty as fuck, and it was like there was a prostitute in the corner, and there was like but it was like super
so
hardcore.
In a way, it was the best McDonald's you've ever been to.
Exactly. In a way, it was like super amazing, but at the same time, you go to a McDonald's in Milan, they got like golden arches that are actually gold and yellow, and it's like the tables are like wood, and you got like carrots in the windows and stuff like that. And then you go there, it's like, this is a joint, you're gonna like
a dive bar, but for takeaway.
Exactly. And that's how I felt. It was just like hectic. I was like, this is weird because it goes off the brand a little bit, But they're French, so it doesn't matter. Number 2.
My number 2 is Chick-fil-A. Have you ever
never
been?
tried it. I just know they had like some scandal a few years back for some
they have.
communication.
But what fast food chain hasn't?
Yeah. But I think because they were a bit right wing.
But again, like the reason why I put them on, I was really between like number 2, number 3, Shake Shack, Chick-fil-A. The reason why they're number 2 is because they're a bit different than all the other ones. They do chicken, obviously, and also they're really big on being really consumer friendly in terms of like servicing, helping you out. Chick-fil-A is notoriously known in the US for having the the best employees in terms of like people who like to work there, people being friendly to you. I don't know if you know, if you know the UK market, for example, you have Pret a Manger, which is also like a chain that likes to boast itself in terms of being like, we are really consumer friendly. They give away something for free every day, for example, to one of the consumers and whatever. So Chick-fil-A is the same in the US. They really pride themselves on being like, we're going to be super fucking friendly to everyone. And even though we're a fast food chain, because like, let's be honest, if you work at a fast food chain, you're not going to be happy every fucking day.
No, of course not.
So, but they still pride themselves on, if you work here, you have to be happy every day. You have to be that smile, and you have to do this and that.
They pay the people really well, apparently.
To be honest, I can't say. So I don't know. So I don't want to say. But what I do know is that they are really friendly people. And from the few times, because I think I've been there for maybe 4 or 5 times, which isn't a lot, but always really, really friendly people, really good food. Is it necessarily better than a McChicken and Mickey D's? It is, but it's not like it's like 10 times better or whatever, but it's just like quality is better because it's real chicken fillet, the white breast and everything. But it's just like the friendliness, and I don't know how to explain it other than you get the feeling that you're not in a fast food restaurant, even though you are very much.
So you
like
have
it's exactly
the pros of the fast service and all that kind of stuff, but you also get taken care of.
Yeah.
They're a big, like from what I've, because they've been in the news quite a bit, and I think that they're a big like a Christian family that, you know, they come out and they bring
what
that.
Company isn't in the US, right? So.
Yeah, but I think they really like evangelical or something like that. I don't know.
Is it always like Southern America?
I don't know. I really don't know.
Like
do you
Southern
want
hospitality.
Yeah. So we're drinking Buffalo Trace, which is for me.
Is that the best bourbon, like commercial,
the
like
best,
the go-to?
It's really, I find it really, really, really good. It's like a.
Ben, do you want some?
You want a bit of Buffalo Trace? Grab a glass and come and grab it. It's a Tennessee bourbon, and they're one of the oldest distilleries in the States, in Tennessee. They're, I think, 200 years old, which for the States is basically ancient Rome.
Yeah.
So when you have a 200-year-old company that's been doing the same sort of thing forever, it's really good. And then I love the story because, you know, the sherry bottles, the sherry barrels get shipped from Spain and from Portugal. No, I'm right.
Ben, everybody.
This is Ben.
Nice to meet you guys. Cheers. Guys.
He is taking care of Milan's children in the best,
in a good way, in the best possible way.
Chicken wing champion.
He's our dad master.
Ben.
Cheers, bud.
Cheers, guys.
Nice.
The reason why I like bourbon a bit more maybe than whiskey, I'm also a big whiskey guy. It's just maybe that's why also you like it. It's a bit sweeter, right? You have a bit of that sweet tooth in it.
It's easier to drink a lot of it, that's for sure.
That was dabbed a lot, the last one.
Yeah.
Did he hit? Yeah, no, it's a pain in the ass, that one. But I enjoy, like, for me, bourbon is always like just chilling drinking, and a really good whiskey is like have a sip of something and like maybe like 2 glasses and that's it. But I can finish a bottle of it.
Do you guys, are you guys big on the whole ice or no ice conversation, or not at all? Are you not snobs?
Conceptually, I am, because I'm a pain in the ass.
Because you want to be, or like?
Because I'm like, if you're drinking a Speyside whiskey with water that's not from Speyside, and you're spending like 20 euros a shot for it, you're
not going to water it down.
Something wrong, right? So you should like fucking up, right? Exactly.
I'll just punch through it.
No, it's just how it is. Like for me, it's like that's how it has to be. That's how I did like a whiskey course when I was a waiter, and like I got lucky and they taught us a couple of things. And then I met a guy from I used to work with a photographer from oh man.
Is he going to do name dropping?
No, I'm thinking.
Is it that time in the podcast where he's going to be like, I know this
place
guy
in England where he comes from, but it doesn't. It's not coming to me. But it's the north anyway.
He's
like
his own
a big whiskey
podcast
guy
on the side where he just says names.
Names, yeah, for sure. All the people I've worked with.
Kanye West.
Stijn. and he did like a big whiskey thing with me like one time, and he was like explaining to me all the differences. So I was like, okay, so you put in all this work into making a whiskey that's so particular to a certain area, which has to be, you know, it's like eating Parmigiano Reggiano or something.
See.
It's all about the terroir, or the champagne. So I'm not going to go fuck that up with some shitty Milanese water. I'll just rather drink it myself. Or if I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it properly with a Coke. You know, let's like go all over. You know,
I think the thing for me is in terms of, I totally get that, and I also it comes back to the red wine and learning to appreciate stuff. I think it's the same with whiskey or bourbon, but at the same time, for me, I really feel, and I'm probably gonna step on a lot of toes here, but I really feel that you can also appreciate it with a bit of Coke Zero in it. And it comes back to, for example, when you go to the guys who really love whiskey, bourbon, they will always tell you like you have good whiskeys and bourbons that you can mix drinks with, and you have really good bourbons and whiskey that you can't mix drinks with.
That's what I think.
And for example, this one, I think Buffalo Trace is a really prime example of a bourbon that is upscale, but still like cool to mix it.
Yeah,
it's not like this is like €150 bottle.
But that's what I would say. Any whiskey, any bourbon for sure is almost thought of as a drink that you're going to mix. You know, that's unless you're going for like something that's been like a single barrel, like 250 bottle whiskey. You want to sip it because you want to. Yeah. But honestly, if you don't understand, if you don't have the palate to understand it, it doesn't really make a difference 100%. Anyway. No, well, that's with everything. So. Like even like the best like Scottish whiskey, Irish whiskey, doesn't really matter. If you don't have the palate, you don't have the understanding to it, doesn't make a difference. But if you are drinking it for the first time and you have an occasion to drink such a beautiful bottle of whiskey, drink it straight. Yeah. First time. And then you can decide if you understand the goodness of it, and if you don't really, there's no point in spending €20 a shot for a whiskey and then putting Coke in it. Just get a bottle of Monkey Shoulder. But I totally get that. For example, my go-to would always be Jack Daniels, and the honey one. No. I love the honey one. That's the sweet. You're such a chick. The sweet tooth is here again. I'm gender fluid, man, with my drinking. I honestly think 12-year-old girl with your drinking. If a 12-year-old girl is drinking honey Tennessee whiskey, that's my kind of girl. Where's she at? Where's she at? I think that's a good example in terms of like even in the supermarkets, you go to staple whiskey, you have like Jack Daniels, but you have a million others that are under 15 or 20 euros, right? You can choose from like Johnny Walker, Red Label Johnny Walker. I think they've done probably the best jobs in terms of marketing. Everyone's talking about Johnny Walker, even though, let's be honest, Johnny Walker Red Label, 12 euros from the shelf, it's fucking shitty whiskey. Yeah. But it's also whiskey that it's actually not shitty, but it's meant to mix with, for example, Coke or whatever. Jack Daniels is the same, but for me, it's the best of the shelf cheap solution to a mixer whiskey, for example. But then when you move up to the Obans or other ones that are like the 12-year or the 15, of course you're not gonna mix that. But I'm still gonna add some ice cubes. That's for me the ice cube is like what I like is the sensation and the sound of it as well. Yeah, that's why I'll often go like I'm not unpartial to like the stones, that you can chill the stones and put the stones in. Ooh, they're just like cold stones that you put in your. So the whiskey's cold, but it doesn't taste. What kind of stones are they? It's also like stones, like marble stones. I like also like the look of it. Yeah, like the ice cubes inside. No, they're cool. They look cool. They're like marble stones. And, okay. You know, or like granite stones. So you'll have the marbling and stuff, and you put it in the freezer and you stick them inside. But I mean, also I love the round ice cube. You know, so it just depends. But I just think if I can, like for me, the best thing you can do is have like a really good whiskey that you really enjoy in the place that it's made with the water from where it's from. It's like if you eat, I mean, we spend so much time in Modena that it's become a second home. Yeah. If you have certain things there, like Cero Balsamico or the Pappardelle or whatever, it just tastes different. Or like at a burrata in Napoli or a Polio Gallega in Gallega and whatever. It's just that, you know. And then if you have it back home, the closest thing you can get to it is having it as pure as possible. And then if you want to add whatever, because it makes your experience
But also,
more
again, it
pleasurable.
comes back to what I said before, right? The situational part to it. Like
It's all about you,
the story
Stijn. It's
part.
all about you.
But you know what I mean, right? Like you attach it to certain emotions.
No one else gave their top
But that's
five.
exactly it. Exactly.
Sorry, guys.
I don't even have a top five.
Just a Korean guy being here.
When he wants to be, he's Korean. And he doesn't want to be, he's Belgian.
Then he's Flemish.
Whatever. Gender fluid.
Just
You
make
said
it
gender
whatever.
fluid.
Gender,
Come on.
nationality fluid, whatever.
Fluid in general.
No, I think you're totally right. And where do you guys stand on doing the cigars? Are you cigars guys
Dude,
or not at
the
all?
best cigar I've ever smoked was in Cuba. I was in Cuba doing a job.
But
And
do you like it?
You're
Yeah.
like the Wikipedia of experiences.
Yeah. You're like, oh, cigars. He's like, cigars? Cuba, man.
Yeah.
I did it with Fidel Castro.
That's
Fidel
how it
Castro.
was.
Me and Fidel Castro, we were best mates.
And he says it like Fidel Castro. He says it like a
I
that's
kid.
see.
exactly
I see.
I like cigars, but in Cuba, I was there working. We did a job for a magazine. I was still an assistant at the time, and the guys were like, "Dude, have a cigar." And there was like, you know, all the classic, you know, whatever, the old mama rolled it up for
Yeah.
you and blah blah blah, and you had this fucking massive cigar. And I told the photographer, I'm only going to drink rum and smoke cigars the whole way through. And he's
So
like,
you got to be
I'm going to
the
do the same.
cliche, the
I'm gonna
tourist
be,
cliche.
I want to
right?
be the cliche.
Yeah.
And so we're like, okay, we're
And you
gonna
know
do
you
it
went to like the McDonald's of cigar
together.
shops.
No, dude, there's no McDonald's in Cuba.
It's like
you
someone I had
fucking
old
capitalist.
mama. The old mama makes up. They have their own brands.
Of course, it was like the dodgiest probably cigar. Like I don't
Yeah.
I don't know anything about cigars, and I'm not a smoker, so like I don't know the flavor. But like the whole experience of smoking a cigar in the bar where Hemingway was chilling, and you're having a mojito, and
Yeah.
you like, you know, or else we're under there's a Christ, no, for some reason in Cuba, and it's like the Christ of Rio de Janeiro, it's the same sort of thing. And we were shooting there with like this film crew, and they had jerried up the electricity from the main lines, basically hooking to cables up on this thing and like running it through, and we're using these fucking lights from the 1950s like film crew sort of thing. Like it was just like the experience was so amazing that I will never forget, just working the whole day with a cigar in my mouth.
It could have been a stick you were smoking.
It could have been
like,
anything, of course, because and they were dancing and people were chilling and we were having rum and we were doing late into the night. So it was like, and it was just such a nice job as well. You know, people
Gloria
were like,
Estefan was playing.
yeah,
It was like-
pretty much. It was. We went to the Buena Vista Social Club where they actually shot where they recorded their thing. So like for me, Cuba is like
Yeah.
what Cuba would
100%.
be. You know, so everything I remember about Cuba is like, holy shit, this is. I lived the
legend.
the legend, or the what's the opposite of the negative when
The cliche.
the cliche.
Yeah.
I lived the cliche of Cuba, but cliches are there because, you know, that's the.
But I think
It's
like
fun.
in a country like Cuba, the cliche is actually like normal life, because
Yeah.
it's not like they have this whole commercial aspect tied
I
to
don't
it.
know.
Like they kind of do, but it's not like when they open Starbucks in Milan. You know, that's like it's so clearly like commercial. There it's a little bit more subdued.
I've got a feeling like what I brought back from Cuba is that there are two Cubas. There's the Cuba that is for the tourist, and
Yeah.
there's the Cuba that is
Yeah,
for the
of course.
person there.
But that's what I mean.
100%.
Like the tourist side of Cuba is like at like,
It's dialed up to 100.
yeah, but the level you get into, it's not like going to Shanghai and going into the center.
No.
And it's like, okay, that's a McDonald's.
Yeah. It's sort of, it feels more authentic until you actually start speaking to people.
Exactly.
You mustn't speak to anybody.
I think it comes down always to details, like the difference between like the tourist Cuba or the really gritty, nitty, real life Cuba. It always comes down to details, because of course these guys are gonna smoke cigars and they're gonna drink fucking rum, but it comes down to the details, as in, where are you gonna do it? Is it this bar or that bar?
Yeah.
That's as simple as that, because like probably you're gonna drink the same drink and you're gonna smoke the same.
Can the
smoke,
locals
but
go to that bar where you're drinking?
It's that thing, right? It comes down to details, but as long as you experience it right and to your tasting and to your liking, I think it's fine. I think.
You're a well-traveled gentleman. So like one of my things when I travel is try to find the authentic, right? And when you read about like old stories of people traveling, like Hemingway or anybody from that generation, they would really find the authentic sort of thing. How do you find authentic experiences in foreign countries where they're used to tourists?
I think that's a really good question. And at the same time, I think it's a really boring answer. For me, I'm really big on research. And I think because it kind of is weird to say research when you're thinking about authentic stuff, right? But for me, it is that thing about research. And it's not about opening up TripAdvisor or booking.com and be like, hey, what's the best hotel? What's the best restaurant? For me, it's about doing real research in terms of like you going deeper into what people are saying and what you can do. And also, I think the most important thing is, but this is only something you get, and I think you guys will recognize that, it's only something you get through age and experience, is when you get to know people that are actually from that country or from that particular, even in Europe, like Europe's really small, right? But there's such a big difference between going to Spain and going to Barcelona if you know someone who's from Barcelona.
Yeah, of course.
Because everyone has been to Barcelona, but no one has really been to Barcelona, if you know what I mean, right? So for me, it's that difference between doing your good research and knowing people. And I think knowing people has been my biggest go-to everywhere. It's like, for example, when I go to South Africa, I'll ask you guys, like, hey, guys, what do you think? Because I do know that you guys kind of align with what I like, with what I want to do, and you're still kind of safe. You're not going to do the crazy, you know what I mean? And that's what you have to find. And I think by doing more and by trying more, I think it's easy on one level, but then you try to push deeper in terms of people you know and what you want to do. And I think the biggest thing always is you have the research. That's one. The biggest thing always is, because I also believe that normal tourists would do that kind of research, but the biggest thing is actually pushing through and going through that particular street, for example, in Barcelona, where no one goes through. And I think that's the most important thing, actually doing it. Yeah. And once you do it, you tend to know, like, hey, this is actually really cool, and this is what everyone is talking about, and this is where you have to go. But
what I found is like there's a weird sort of disconnect. If you go to like Barcelona or South Africa or Hong Kong, which are like big economies, then you can get almost a better like real experience, because the locals aren't like terribly poor, right?
Yeah.
So, but whereas if you go to Cuba or a lot of these other countries where they have a lot of tourism, or like the Philippines.
Isn't it the same? Like,
the Philippines, I had the same sort of thing. People will try to bring you into this experience, which is like a Cuban experience and blah, 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 but under the guise of it being authentic. But then by the time that you finish the thing, it becomes like a pay as you go sort of thing. It's like, oh, dude, can you give me a couple of bucks because you had this really authentic sort of thing, because we pulled you off the street and had a Dominator game, right?
It becomes like a rip-off kind of situation, which is not authentic anymore. Like,
exactly. So Marrakesh,
it's like when you want to buy roses in Milan.
It's like
exactly.
So like watching a Netflix movie or watching like a movie at the cinema.
So no, exactly. So you go to Marrakesh and you're having your mint tea at some place, and then some dude will be like, will start talking to you, and you'll be like chatting, and then he'll be like, oh no, I want to introduce you to my cousin, and it's like, oh for fuck's sake, here we go, right? There's the thing, and then the cousin's definitely going to be something
you're
like
on the ride now
or something.
Like,
right?
But I think that's the thing, all right. The thing is always like, when you say that, for example, I think that's 100% true. But for me, the difference between us that maybe and like when you're a normal tourist is like, do you decide to push through? Do you decide to believe it? Because it could be, and that, to your point, you're 100% right. It could be shitty. It could be like a hoax, and it could be they're ripping off your money, like the roses in Milano. Here, like, hey, do you want to buy cigarettes, Milan? No, dude. But it could also end up being a real experience in terms of, I didn't expect this. Like, and those for me are always the best. Like, you go somewhere, for example, wherever, and you see TripAdvisor, and it's like, oh, don't go here. I didn't feel safe here. I didn't feel safe at all. And then you go there and you're like, dude, it's fucking fine. Like it's amazing here, but it's the expectation management.
Expectation management. Like going to like a township in South Africa, right? You get brought there by somebody. Sorry, it's very rare that you're just gonna wake up in the morning and go for a drive there.
Yeah.
But if you get brought there by somebody, then you might have a real experience. But if somebody, like what I've always found, like from when I ended up, usually what I do is like after a job, I end up staying a couple of extra days wherever I am. And then I'll try and find the authentic somehow. And often what will happen is that they'll see a Westerner sitting by himself and they'll be like, dude, start chatting. And it'll be a fantastic conversation at first. They'll be telling me all about the country and you'll be like, oh, this guy's like super friendly, blah, blah, blah. And then they'll be like, let's go and buy a carpet or let's go, whatever.
Yeah.
And then you get bummed because it's like, okay. So the whole like authentic experience that I had before was all because you wanted to sell me something, which is cool because
sometimes that's the authenticity of it.
But I get it. But it's like, okay, yes, but it's like, then you're a commodity, right? You feel like a commodity straight away. Whereas if you go to Australia and you're sitting in a pub, and somebody starts talking to you, it's not because they want to sell you something, because they want to talk to you. Or maybe they want to,
they want to buy something else.
Yeah. I think Australian people are party people, right?
Yeah, so exactly.
Probably they're like, hey, this South African guy, do you have some crazy South African drugs for us? Because we're in Australia, right?
Exactly. They're like one of the most party people.
Crazy. Like
populous.
I think, I don't know, you met some of our Australian friends here, right? Like Suhana and
but they seem normal.
But in a way, where you give them two drinks, it's a different story. Right? These kind of people are amazing. Like
they're fantastic. And that's weird also what's like, in general, Australia is a weird place now because you got these wild animals.
But they're so isolated that it's like they're a different kind of breed. And the good thing about Australian people, love them or hate them, it doesn't matter. I like them because they're always themselves.
Yeah, they're fun.
They do not shy away, and a lot of people do, certainly in Europe. But Australian people, they do not shy away from being Australian. They're always like, "Hey, mate, you're going." But they're always
they can't really, can they, with that accent?
No, true. But at the same time, they're also really. They're just Australian people. Yeah, no. So I think that's great. And I think that's a big difference with American people, because American people, they always tend to hide behind but
because people like Australians and people don't like Americans. If you come like in general,
I do love West Coast people.
I like all Americans. I really love
equally.
Midwest, Bible Belt, the ones that actually get me the most. Like because our uncles are like Bible bashers. We're gonna wrap it up sooner or later. But they're
Ben is like doing, I need more whiskey.
Yeah, dude, come and get it. It's fine. Come. But they're evangelical Christians. So we have that in our family, and we've sort of brought up a little bit with that sort of thing. So
big party people.
But they are. The funny thing is,
they are who they are.
The funny thing is as soon as they come to Milan, they become Milanese because they are Milanese. They're Italians.
They're like,
as soon as they arrive off that plane, like the Bible is put in the book, is in the bag, and it's like, okay, our family likes us this way, and that's how they're going to be. Yeah. But what they really are is these evangelical Christians, and when you understand them, it's easy to understand the Americans for the Bible Belt and everything as well. And it's like you figure it out. It's like these people are very, very scared that we are going to go to hell.
And this is, to my honestly,
it's very honest.
This is a good situation for me. Why I like to ask people the food or drink question. Because if you describe to me that situation, the body of Christ
is my favorite
food. These guys are so different than you are, right? And in a way they are the same, but they're not, and all of that stuff. But if you ask them about food, or they come down to your level, absolutely. Even though you're not on the same level. Absolutely. So for me, that's why it's so important to talk about food and drinks and
because that's definitely. Like I said at the beginning, it's like an icebreaker. It's completely you're going straight to the heart,
and a safe one.
Yeah. You're not asking about COVID or something like
that. No. Should we go to my number one?
Let's go to your number one.
Yeah.
Come on, I think you know.
I've had like more than you guys have had.
I actually have. I'm going to.
I think I had it up, but I think you know what my number one is, right? What is my number one?
This is safe.
Actually, I've lost track. So
KFC. My number one is In-N-Out. the legendary In-N-Out, the Holy Grail In-N-Out, the beautiful golden version of burgers, what fast food should be. One of my culinary heroes, Anthony Bourdain. I don't know if you didn't read it yet. You have to. His biography is awesome. Kitchen Nightmares, please read it. But In-N-Out for me is what a fast food burger should be. I could write poems about it.
Do it like one right now.
I'm not kidding. I think this is what it really should be in terms of everything that also you guys have been talking about consistency, right? Or fast food should be fast, or it should be like what it is. You go to In-N-Out. Have you guys been there?
I've been there once.
Once?
No, never. I've always
if you go to In-N-Out, the most important thing is the menu is this: hamburger, cheeseburger, fries. I'm not kidding. That's what it is. You can ask a single or a double. So a single hamburger, single cheeseburger, double, whatever. But that's it. With fries, a milkshake, soda, whatever. But that's what it is. You have a notorious secret menu at In-N-Out where you can ask for the animal style, for example, where you can go by like, I want a double cheeseburger animal style. It's not on the menu, but then you get special sauce, whatever. But that doesn't even matter. The thing is, for me, you have a hamburger, a cheeseburger, portion of fries. You order it. It's made to order. So you order it and they actually make it. And it's amazing. I can't tell you why exactly, to be honest, but they do everything so well. For me, that is a quintessential like fast food hamburger. So you have the bun, really soft. It's an easy bun. Then you have the burger. It's quality beef, but it's not like a thick kind of patty. So it's like a smaller, almost Mickey D's kind of patty, but it's like a 10 times more quality. Then you have a cheese that's really good, probably American cheese to be honest. Then some kind of lettuce, tomato, onion, and that's it. And secret sauce. That's it. So it's really easy. It's so good. It's amazing. And I cannot recommend it enough. And you know what it is? Everyone that we've mentioned here on the list, like Mickey D's, Five Guys, Chick-fil-A, Shake Shack, and even all the guys that you mentioned outside of this list, they at some point in time, they try to do something they're not. Everyone tried it. Or they try to market themselves as something they're not. In-N-Out, they've never done that. I dare you. I follow them on social media. Follow them.
You're a sick man.
They're fucking whack. Their social media is nothing. They have not like 1 million followers or whatever. They do nothing, and still they're like the legend that is In-N-Out. And I think
exactly.
I think that adds to the legend of being In-N-Out, because let's be honest, like if you follow the fast food scene, as I do, and I do know that I sound like an obsessive guy, so I'm talking about fast food. But if you do follow the fast food scene, like In-N-Out is the one go-to that everyone agrees on, like that's the number one. And it's a special sauce because you can't really say why, but it's just they're number one. They're number one in everything they do. And they do it really well. And they just do whatever they do, and that's the only thing.
How much of that do you think is because it's LA? That it's like the fact that, there's a whole star culture around that. So rappers talk about it, like podcasters talk about it, actors will go there. And how much is it the perception of that?
I think, to be honest, for In-N-Out, it is a big thing and it isn't. You know why? Because I know more. I'm a big hip hop guy. Maybe that's our next podcast about music, but I'm big on music and hip hop and rock music from the 80s, 90s, early 2000s. But I can tell you for real that In-N-Out has been mentioned less than Mickey D's, Taco Bell, or whatever brand.
Chick-fil-A is always mentioned.
And you know why? It is because all of these people, they have the same flair about In-N-Out. They fucking love it. but it doesn't feel almost right to mention it because like for them it's like a given. Like In-N-Out is like this kind of staple in staple in the West Coast that it is. And then you know what? They never want to do fancy stuff, and that's why I fucking love them. They'd never do fancy stuff. They would never associate with like the next Louis Vuitton runway shit in LA because let's be honest, all the other brands would do that. Because also rightfully so, right?
No, it
so,
makes sense.
And they've never done that. Again, go to the social media. I dare you all, guys. It's really shitty. It's really shitty. It's like this not Photoshop picture of like an old In-N-Out, and they're like, "Do you like our burgers? We do." And I'm like, "Hey." So yeah, and that's what it is. And I went to their website and I was like, "Hey, for my birthday, I want to get myself some In-N-Out merch, right? Because merch is the biggest thing that you can earn money and all that shit on." They had, I'm not kidding, they had one hoodie on there with a logo that was so ugly that even
you were like, "No, I don't want it."
Even me, as the biggest fast food guru, I was like, number one, I was like, clicked away like, I'm going to give it to Kanye. I'm going to give it to Kanye. So it's like,
funny.
Yeah. So for me, there's so many reasons, but I think the most important reason is not only taste. Of course it is taste and it's the best tasting fast food, but also the perception and the not being arrogant and not, even though they're from LA, West Coast, because again, LA, as you asked, like actors, celebrities, they all love it, but they're not pretentious at all. And that's amazing. Like you have to stand in line. Every celebrity has to stand in line. They do not get it. Like like the golden VIP cards you get in other establishments. In-N-Out is like, I don't know who you are, whatever. Like,
just wait 5 minutes.
It says it in the name as well. It's get in, get the fuck out. Like
exactly.
We make burgers want to go home and.
I'm going to do a couple of also-rans before we close up.
Yeah.
Let's see what you guys think about this. I've got Nando's on my list. Because Nando's, it's South African.
Is it because of the sauce?
No, it's because
notoriously Nando's is about the sauce,
the spicy,
the spice about the chicken.
Lemon.
It is a South African brand, so we're playing.
I didn't know that, by the way.
We're trying to bring it home. It like
also big in the UK.
Yeah, exactly. We brought it into the UK.
He's like, Ben is like, it's expensive.
Too expensive. It's too much. But because you're poor, dude, that's why. It's like
chicken chop.
No, because so that was on my list because it was like in South Africa when they came out. Apart from the fact that their ads are fucking amazing. Like Trevor Noah used to do their ads back in the day. Like they launched a lot of comedians.
But can I ask, is it still fast food?
It is quick because they have the it's rotisserie chicken, so it's there ready, and you just go and you come out.
What's your go-to order?
I'll just get the super hot peri pieces.
Is it a burger or just a piece of chicken? Is it like a thigh? Is it like a wing?
They'll give you like pieces of chicken. Like you order 5 pieces, right? And they'll give you like wings and thighs and whatever. But they make it an awesome burger as well, like a chicken burger.
Yeah. Thank you.
That's awesome.
So why do you like it so much?
It's a memory of home. It's spicy and I love spice. It's always been like the quality is always the same, like we said. So it ticks all the boxes, but it's also like something that you don't really find anywhere else. You know, it's you have it in London, you have it in South Africa, you might have it maybe in a couple of other places, and that's it.
I think I've only seen it. Yeah, in the UK and South Africa.
Yeah, I think so. But
is it for you the same? Like you really like it?
Like I wouldn't put it on a list. No. Let's just put it that way.
So not in the top 5 for you.
Not at all. Like I would prefer putting Subway, for example, on.
Oh, interesting, controversial. Why Subways? Come on.
Because I love sandwiches.
You love a footlong.
I love footlongs, man.
So what's your go-to Subway? Is it like with the meatballs marinara situation, or is it like a plain old like cheese
tuna
ham?
Usually
tuna, really?
Yeah,
that's interesting.
I like acidic. I got a lot of ketchup. I like vinegar, all that stuff. Yeah. So it's normally like tuna and.
But there must be something because tuna is not like referral to Subway, so there must be something about Subway.
That Rene has the palate of a pregnant woman.
He's a sweet.
I'm always pregnant.
We established that he's a sweet tooth, right?
Yeah, so but he's got this thing, vinegar. Like if you see him make a salad, it's
not that bad anymore.
Vinegar, but it used to be really bad. It used to be like fucking a little bit of oil.
But aside from the tuna, why do you like Subways?
I like
because
the bread.
of the bread? Yeah.
I like the bread. I like the fact that I can just pile stuff in there. It was like easy to eat. Like it would usually be, I think the first time I had it was in Prague. So it was connected to...
So you're the prostitutes.
Yeah.
Yeah. After the prostitutes.
Prague drinking tea.
It was at 5 in the morning. And no, it was like an American thing.
Yeah.
So
it is. I mean, it is.
For me, it's always that. It's it's American. Yeah. So it's going to be... And I like the whole thing that you could do because it was...
You can basically choose
and choosing before it was cool.
Yeah.
So you could do that, and it was like a big thing that you could bring. Like we would usually go there in Prague before going to skate.
Yeah.
We would go and get some food, right? And when we had some extra money to spend, we'd just like go to Subway.
Yeah.
And there was never a line. It was like
amazing.
And then we just like put everything on.
It's a good thing, not a good thing. It's a good thing, not a good thing, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And there was just like the kind of chemical taste that. I just
it's
love
like
it.
Mickey D's. It's like chemical. It's like it's not,
but fake healthy.
Yeah.
So it'd be like
and also I love how this again ties back to you saying like memories. I love it because it's my childhood basically. Yeah. Like I did it in Prague, and then I kept on liking it. That's what it is, right? And I think that's amazing. So other things that
and also bones. I'm not a big like. I'm not really that. Schizzinoso, it's like fussy. I'm not like fussy.
Yeah, but do you really think that in any of my top 5 things, no bones?
No bones.
Exactly. That's like even like I can get around KFC.
So you're not big on, for example, going to a barbecue place in Kentucky and having ribs. That's not you.
Ribs is fine. It's normally like chicken or
I've seen you smash a chicken.
Or fish, for example, because there's a lot of
fish is a pain in the ass.
Yeah, so you don't like fish, for example.
It's like if I'm talking about like normally fast food, it's always going to be I'm going to finish everything that's on my plate. Mm-hmm. So it's just like having the extra bones and stuff. It's just something about that, and then I don't mind putting it in my mouth, but as soon as I like unexpectedly bite down on, I can destroy like my whole.
Really?
I get like nauseous.
Yeah.
Even if I love it, like the peri peri chicken.
Yeah.
Like I'm always like I'm more to like the lemon stuff. Even for the shrimp, right? Like shrimps and stuff like butter lemon, which is something you can't find anywhere else.
Yeah.
If I could get like some like a little shell of the.
It's lemon butter though, not butter lemon.
Lemon butter, whatever. Like no one's going to listen to this at this point anyway.
Rightfully so.
The next one, and then we close up. KFC. Where's KFC?
Ooh.
Also ran. Because for me, KFC is the bomb.
Difficult one. I think it's a difficult one.
A zinger is good.
The burger, right?
The burger. KFC zinger.
But in terms of, to be honest, certainly if you're from South Africa like you are, I'm not going to say I dislike KFC.
Well, hang on a second. It's not because we're African that we like fried chicken, right?
No, I don't want to make this. I don't want to make.
Racist.
Come on, you guys. Come on, you guys. You just ordered me sushi because I came in here, right? So, no, I'm not saying that because of that. But the thing is, for me, that's why we should do maybe if we ever get that far, a sponsored podcast to the US and try out the real fried chicken, because I think even though KFC, I don't dislike it. But I don't think that's a real fried chicken. But you know what I mean?
I understand what.
Did you try Jollibees? Here in Milan, you have Jollibees, right?
Yeah.
Did you try?
Filipinos go.
Did you try Jollibees?
I have, and it's actually quite good.
And honestly,
is that the franchise?
Jollibees
it's a Philippine fast food company, Jollibees.
Oh damn!
I didn't even think about it, but actually, if I
think they're better than KFC, man.
It could be. It could actually be better than KFC
in terms of gravy and fried chicken.
It could be, but I had it on my list because it didn't come to my mind straight away.
The gravy, because the gravy used to be really good in South Africa.
Yeah, I don't know.
Years ago, probably within there.
It's still the same.
It's not the same. They changed the gravy. Yeah.
What the fuckers? You do not change your recipes. That's just wrong. It doesn't. It's like Hitler, basically.
But okay, let's go back to KFC. Why do you think KFC is so good?
It's all the things that we run through. So it's consistency. Like any country you go to,
what's
it's
your
always the
go-to
same.
at KFC?
I love pieces. I love the opposite to
the skin.
I
really
like
good.
eating a piece of chicken. It's like I remember
like a carb, or are you like what kind of guy are you? Are you like a chicken wing kind of guy?
I like breasts.
Yeah, the breast.
No.
Of course, you like.
I like the thigh, and I like the.
Are you
we're still talking about chicken?
Light meat or dark meat?
Dark meat.
Yeah.
Dark,
of course,
dark
as
meat
every real meat lover.
It's where all the fat is, so it's where all the flavor is. You know, so it's the thigh, it's the drumstick, the chicken wings. The breast is always a little bit.
And your go-to dipping thing is the gravy, or is it like?
I usually don't dip. I just prefer to eat it like that.
Just the chicken,
just the flavor of the chicken.
For me, it's all about what you dip into it. Yeah,
so it's like
I could eat like a boot.
Yeah, he's giving you don't even
it's
like terrible. So yeah, for me it's 100%.
I thought we were friends with. This is like really.
It depends on the sauce that
really
you dip it in.
You're not friends with him until you've skated together.
Yeah,
so
exactly. I don't even like those people.
No. So for me, it's
what
like
sauce?
The mayo.
Gravy is for me the first one, and
That's
also I really like the KFC traditional recipe, like the kind of peppery mayonnaise kind of.
Yeah.
But I think gravies. Let's be honest. Like if you do fried chicken, you have to do gravy.
Yeah.
And
but do you really?
Yeah.
Because it's so
you
good,
know what I mean.
Dude.
Ben is not
it's so good by itself. Ben, what do you think?
Like
KFC is the only place I do the gravy.
Is it?
Since they changed it.
But you never tried Jollibee's, right? You never tried. Yeah.
Jollibee's, the chicken is incredible. I've never had the gravy.
So you have to try the Jollibee's gravy, really.
KFC's gravy 4 years ago.
And let's be honest.
They changed it. Especially in Italy. They changed it. Yeah.
Bastards.
And let's be honest. Whatever is in that gravy is MSG anyway.
Oh, yeah,
so
of course.
we're all gonna fucking like it. So it's like
MSG
this
is the
really
best.
good. This is really good. So I like KFC. I think KFC is a good one in terms of, for me, price quality wise. So for example, if I order something from Five Guys, it's gonna cost me 27 euros. If you order something from KFC and also really good, half of it.
Yeah.
So I think that's why it could come up in the top 5. But in terms of taste, for me, it doesn't get there because I think the kernel is done. No, I think it's too bland. It's too bland in terms of like what I do like is the spicy things, but they don't get that in every European country.
So for you, like the gourmet hamburger is like is Satan, but
no, not Satan.
But the gourmet. Let me be a bit over the top. Otherwise, what the fuck are we doing here?
Yeah.
So for you, it's like the worst thing on the planet. But the gourmet chicken, the gourmet like the original. Let's say like the original southern style like soul food chicken made by the hot mama in the place.
Are you saying that KFC does that? Because I don't think the KFC does that.
I'm saying that like what
they're the fast food
McDonald's
version of
is
that.
to hamburgers, KFC is to fried chicken.
Yeah, 100%. I completely agree. But the reason why I would never, the thing is, if it's about fast food, but it's for a person, like to me, like I would always choose, but this is for me. And maybe you guys can answer that question too. But if you, for example, if someone would say to me, you can only choose, or you have a fucking decent burger, or you have a fucking decent fried chicken.
Right.
I would always say the burger.
I'm the same.
I think you would say that. So that's why I'm saying Mickey D's is up there number 5. If I was the guy saying chicken, of course.
Yeah.
KFC
You
would
did
be
put Chick-fil-A around the bottom.
Yeah, Chick-fil-A, but it's a different thing.
But it's a different situation.
Thing,
It's a different situation because, like, of course, it's like the only chicken, and also I think that
Quality
Popeyes in US.
I
I don't know if you heard about it, but
heard about it, never tried it.
That's the funny thing about like all of these brands
Yeah.
Like we know all of them.
Yeah.
Even if you've never been inside them, you know who they are. Like Popeyes, you'll know.
Yeah,
You'll know
not only
Wendy's.
you know it, you want to try it.
You want to try it. Yeah.
Do you guys know this one? And this is one I really want to try. What a burger. What a burger.
From where?
It's a fast food chain from the Midwest in Texas. It's called really What a Burger.
I think I've heard about this on one of the podcasts that we follow.
It's apparently it's amazing. So it's apparently it's kind of a mix between the fabrication of a Mickey D's and the realness of like In-N-Out or so. Apparently it's really good. I've never tried.
So it's like a Fuddruckers kind of like thing.
I don't know, to be honest. I've never tried it, but it's apparently it's really good.
Nobody's ever heard about Fuddruckers.
Washington, that's like a really good.
Washington is
It's
a big
like
deal.
not even Stan who spends like 5 hours a day,
awesome.
basically.
So there's like 10 minutes left on that.
Okay, we're gonna
No Dunkin' Donuts.
Wait, no,
Let's,
Dunkin' Donuts.
Next time.
Because we're in Italy,
Yeah.
we have to touch Domino's, Pizza Hut.
Oh,
Never had
why?
Pizza Hut.
Because like I'll tell you my first memory of Pizza Hut. We have
10 minutes.
we had a dad who had a restaurant, and he was a pizzaiolo. He made pizzas.
Mm-hmm.
So we always had Italian pizzas, even if we were in deepest, darkest Africa. One day, the primary school or the preschool, I can't remember exactly which one, I think it was the preschool, decided we're going to take the whole class out to like a theater show and then pizza. And they brought us to fucking Pizza Hut.
Really?
Dude, it was, for me, it was a shock because I was expecting pizza and I ate something else.
But back then, you maybe were like, I like it.
No, because
He was already a dick back
because,
then.
Yeah, because you don't have recognition
No,
of-
dude, because they sold it to me as pizza, and as a 4-year-old, like all you know is this pizza that you've had at home, which is either the deep dish Italian style or it was like a proper restaurant pizza. So this thing with like, it was obviously Hawaiian as well because the kids like Hawaiian. So like
Pineapple,
for me, pineapple was like,
all the way.
oh my God, shocked me completely to my core. And I didn't eat pineapple pizza for, I'd say about 20 years, easy. And then I tried it again. And I was like, actually, this is fucking good.
Because you
It's
didn't
not too
expect
bad. It's not too
pizza.
bad. Yeah.
Because I wasn't eating pizza, I was eating Pizza Hut.
Yeah.
Same thing as McDonald's. And I think it's the same as Domino's. Now Domino's has come to Italy, so we can try it a bit more often. Pizza Hut, we've tried it in South Africa and around the world, so it's all right. So we know it. Domino's, I enjoy it. Like I'll have Domino's once a month just for shits and giggles. No?
Not a hangover.
Dude, you're British. You don't have a say in food.
But can I ask,
And you don't have a microphone. So.
for me, what is really an interesting question, I feel like I debated this with my girlfriend. It's like when we came here, for example, like obviously you have in other parts of Europe, we do have like the pizza in terms of like Pizza Hut, Domino's, but it's not a big deal because you're not in Italy. You know what I mean? But then you come to Italy and then you guys are big on like, hey, pizza, pasta.
Of
Hey,
course,
come on,
we
blah,
made
blah,
the
blah. So I get it. And then you still have Domino's, for example. And then I think like to myself, like, how do you guys know how real Italian people stand against like a Domino's, for example?
They accept it as something different.
But is it for them like, but they accept it in terms of like it's a fast food, like a fast food burger, for example.
It's American food.
You won't get a margarita from Domino's. You'll get like a barbecue chicken.
So they always get to like a special kind of pizza because they're like, it's fast food anyway, so it doesn't matter what we ask. Like,
exactly.
It's like if you go to Napoli, you'll get like food from Napoli, right?
Yeah.
If you go to Tuscany, you'll get food from that like city. You go to Domino's, you get food from America, like from Domino's. So like I always get the chicken barbecue. I don't even try getting the
plain,
the normal pizza.
I think you could translate it into like, if you want a decent margarita, of course you're not gonna call Domino's, but if you want your hangover and you want like a crazy pizza with some pineapple on it, chicken on it, even some clams, whatever,
just make
you
it
call
weird.
Domino's. You call Domino's. But I think that's crazy because like Italian people are so protective of their food, right? So it's crazy to me that you can actually do that, because I would really think and believe that Domino's would have no place in Italy.
But it's the same with Starbucks.
No place at all.
Starbucks also had no place in Italy.
Yeah, but they have like a
McDonald's.
different, like Starbucks, I get it, but because of the coffee, right? Because of the coffee, because like Italians are like espresso. So the only coffee you can drink is like this small. I get it. But Starbucks is such a given thing for me that it's almost transcends the kind of coffee stuff, and you can't transcend Italians and pizza.
Yeah, but you
know what I mean? Like
you came to Milan, that Starbucks was already here. Because it had just arrived. It had just arrived when you moved in. Starbucks forever was like this thing that was considered almost impossible. There was even an article from the CEO of Starbucks that was saying that he's never going to open in Italy because it's just not possible. But then what happened was they made a deal with Princi, and Princi,
which is really smart.
Princi
really
was,
smart.
because for people who don't know, because
the best bakery,
they do like bakeries, so it's focaccia and that kind of stuff, super commercial, but super good. And they had lots of spaces, and they had the commercial license, and they were like, okay, cool, we're going to do like Princi with Starbucks, make it together. And then they managed to get them in here. And of course it was a success because all the tourists wanted, the Italians wanted, because they want something different. Yeah. And it's exactly the same with Domino's. I think Domino's caters a lot to the immigrant population, like especially Filipinos that have grown up with it, that kind of stuff. But also the Italian that wants to try something different. You know, it's like, okay, I'm going to go for a pizza.
Yeah, 100%.
And sometimes...
So it's more of an exotic thing.
Yeah.
You know, I think like maybe Domino's had a little bit of a... I didn't expect it to be still here.
As big as it is.
Yeah.
Because, same for me.
Because like Starbucks, they didn't try, but there were so many other like coffee places that tried. There was Arnold's Coffee.
Yeah.
Arnold's Coffee was like a little franchise, and you would go there and get your like iced coffee with vanilla and all that stuff. And they lasted quite a few years. So obviously they tested that and they were like, okay.
Yeah, but it was a California bakery.
Yeah.
California bakery just like exploded. They used to have like €4 bagels, and now it's like €12 bagels.
Which I think is weird because I think they're shit.
Yeah, it's not that amazing. They were
Bagel Factory was much better.
When they opened up 10 years ago, it was the only place that you could find a red velvet cake in Italy.
Oh shit! Yeah, but do you have to find a red velvet cake in Italy? You know what I mean? Like,
yes, because if there isn't one, you want one, right? So that you like when you open up a place that offers like an American style breakfast, pancakes, and that kind of stuff. All of a sudden, like it's like cool, I'll go. But at the end of the day, I mean, I agree with you 100%. Like, I'm not going to spend like 20 euros for bacon and eggs.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
You know, it doesn't make sense. When I can go, literally, I can probably spend double that and fly to Hackney and then go to like some dodgy workers bar and have like proper bacon and eggs with like, and fly back the next day. It's like, it's literally like maybe 3 times more expensive.
Yeah, 100%.
So why not? But yeah, so that's why I think like all these, like in Milan especially, which has been so closed for so long.
Yeah.
Then all of a sudden, like, because we got a lot more Peruvians, they brought in the fried chicken culture and the
Mexican culture as well.
Tacos
and burritos.
Tacos is coming up now, and there's like lots of interesting things that are coming up, but it's never really good. It's
100%.
I'm struggling to find like the real.
I think, to be honest, that's really worth a different podcast. But I really want to touch upon like, I think Milan is really good at doing their own, but they're not good at doing something different.
No.
And for me, why I want to talk about it, because I do think they could be really good at it, but I almost feel like they don't want to be good at, you know what I mean? Like,
you know what it feels like? It feels like an Italian restaurant in the 80s in New York. You know,
100%.
they do like the Alfredo.
But don't forget, they started, now it's their fucking old culture. Like if you go to New York, like Little Italy is a thing. Like they've done their own.
It's become a different cuisine.
Yeah. And I think if you want to start something out in Milano, for example, it's so difficult because like, they're so specific about what you have to do and what they like,
and the spices to be just this way, and this like
not these spices though.
No, well, I imported the spices, guys. Anyway, I'm gonna shout out for one guy really quickly because you haven't tried it yet, but I will get you some. There's this guy called Biorto, and he's a guy from Friuli. He grows like all different kinds of peppers. like ghost peppers, blah blah blah,
The crazy ones.
crazy ones. But he's Italian, so he processes them with some thought. It's not like I'm just gonna make this
and love
the hottest thing.
Like he carries them
Exactly.
every day. Like
It's like we had some stuff that is like a salt that was made with like ghost peppers, but it doesn't kill you because he's figured out that the way to like bring out the flavor of the ghost peppers and have a little bit of the spice without all the spice, right? And he's a fucking genius, and I love him. I met him at the East Market. He's got a little stand. Bloody
I think
brilliant.
you told me.
I told you about it, but I haven't had you like try anything because I wanted to kill you first.
It's not as bad as the bomb.
No, dude. The bomb.
Thank you, Ben.
The bomb is like is murder.
Yeah, I was expecting it to be much worse though.
Really?
I don't think you had enough.
Yeah, that's it.
Because
That's
like
it.
the bastard over there, like one of them.
I'm gonna say I said 6. He did 6. So he's a man of his word. And he absolutely got it right.
I don't see consistency in the dabbing though.
There's a dab map. Show the dab map.
We have the dab map.
I can tell you.
This is yours. That's the one that you got.
I had 3 of them.
I made the worst mistake of doing the first one was the one that was dabbed.
Yeah, that was
the
that
very
one.
first
I
one.
saw it coming up.
So I thought if it's like the second or the third one, it's fine. But like my first one was like, oh fuck, this is bad. And then you have to be like this. Yeah, guys, I'd love to be here in this podcast. I can talk about whatever you guys want. And I'm like dying inside. Like
you were really good. I was watching you doing that at the time because I saw that.
I was almost tearing up. So I was really happy that my second one was a good one. So thank you, Ben.
Dude.
For also putting someone.
Stijn, I think we've done the hour, bro.
Let's cap it off. Thank you guys.
Yeah, bro.
Hey guys, thank you for having me.
Such an amazing chat. I think we should do this.
We got to do like another one. Maybe another list because I like these themed conversations. Maybe like
so this
tweets
time,
or something.
It's because Stan doesn't want to talk about
or
himself.
movies. You were like
I love to do that, man. So
either movies or like music, yeah.
And also, what I think is a good idea. So this time it was my list, and next time it's movies, but it's your list. So we talk around your list and we talk about your top 5.
We're not interesting.
We're the hosts. So
okay, let's talk about my list then. But also, I think if I'm the guest, we should do good drinks, good lists, and have some fun.
Absolutely.
And thank you guys for having me.
No,
absolutely.
It's amazing.
Thank you guys for having me.
That's it. Bye.
Cheers, Ben.
Bye-bye.